And we're back. I'm your host, Hassan Aline.
Coach Carl Williams.
And it's Tuesday, and we're ripping and ready to go. You know, Carl, one thing I was thinking about with that school system and how, well, the folks got to be educated, and something we can't let the schools get by. And they talk about how much it costs to go to school, and it is a lot. And I find it interesting that you could go out and see across the city, you see young men and girls practicing baseball. You know, you say, well, all them folks doing out there and it's cold, but they playing baseball and they running around. Well, they warming up. You know, all you got to do if you want to get hot, jump up and down, do some work.
Yeah, move, yeah.
Got to move around. So, but what about the academics? Why are we letting these folks in the city of Detroit get away with not educating our children? And you can say, well, I don't have any children in school. Well, you got grandchildren.
That's right.
You know, and you got the neighbors. You got the folks that's going to help you out. So all of these folks are our concern because it's a better neighborhood.
That's
Why
right.
do you want to be scared if you see a young black man? If you're scared when you see young black men, then what does that mean? That means we haven't paid enough attention to them if we're scared of them. We don't know them. All we know is what they say on the television. And so we need to change that. We need to change that dynamic. And one way of doing it is to get involved in the school system.
That's right.
If your child, grandchild, brings home some homework, and they've did all of the homework for the week in one day, they're not doing enough schoolwork. You're not getting enough work. How do you finish all your homework in one day for the whole week?
For the whole week.
Yeah, the whole week. You got a week worth of homework, and that child finished it in a couple hours. Whole week.
Yeah, you're right.
They're not getting enough homework. Oh, that's a fact.
Nothing.
Oh, that's a fact. Charter schools and Detroit public schools are doing that when they should have them doing learning the times table. Do you know they got an elementary addition table?
What?
An addition table. You know, I saw it in a book. I've been looking through some math books and stuff, trying to
See what they coming up
yeah,
with
what
now.
they're coming up with. But they got a table because where you add up the numbers, and they give that to accountants. So now they try to you kind of got the hint. Y'all just playing the accountants. So if you taking any kind of math to be an accountant, they showing you how to add up double digits.
Okay.
And so they start you like a 6 and 7, 7 and 5, and stuff like that, 8 and 3, which you don't even think about half of the time. And you get your child to learn this, the addition, so that speeds them up.
Yeah,
It's nothing.
math.
They're not teaching us to learn. That's real simple. They're teaching our children to confuse us because they took us the long way around. Robin Hood's barn. I didn't think Robin Hood had a barn, but I call it Robin Hood's barn. They just took us way around the barn because they were robbing us as far as I'm concerned. Why would they take you around the barn
robbing us of
somewhere?
Education.
And so
Knowledge.
we need to look at this. Here's somebody going. You got somebody in the 10th grade, 9th grade. You got somebody that's 15 years old, a student. I say somebody, a student in school. They can go to Wayne County Community College. Now, we need to make Detroit public schools put these programs in the high school that would draw more students to the Detroit public school. The rest of them are doing it.
That's
It's
right.
coming out of the Detroit public school money. Anyway, they're going to say, well, we don't have the money. Oh, they got the money. Well, we don't have the money. Well, find the money. Borrow the money. Oh, borrow the money. Well, they don't have any debt. The new school system don't owe a dime, do they?
No, they don't.
Well,
That's what
borrow the doggone
bragging about.
money. Borrow the money. That'll put 20,000 new school children in the schools overnight. Forget about all this crazy stuff. You following all these generals, been in the battle for 20 years, 100 years, ain't never won a battle. Ain't never won a battle over in the Detroit public school system. It's going down, down, and down. That's all they got to do. They're doing it everywhere. E-course, River Rouge. I know River Rouge have it. Inkster had it. That's what put it on the map.
Yeah.
And so Detroit public schools can send your student, your daughter, your son to school in high school at 15, 16 years old. They can get in the program to get a college degree, a 2-year degree. Now look, how do you think your son or daughter is going to go to college on some athletic scholarship and they don't have a 2.0 average? You know they got to have a 2.0
Yeah.
average now. And one of those guys doing the finals, one of the brothers, it was black, one of the blacks doing that NCAA final, they were saying how he had set out because of their academic eligibility.
Yeah.
Or they said he wasn't eligible. Now, wait a minute, he playing, he was healthy. Now, how come he wasn't eligible? Because of his grade point. He had to have a 2.0. Yeah, that's how they slipped it in, but if you didn't understand what they were saying, you missed it. So all these mothers have their young boys playing. I said all the mothers, but no, a lot of the mothers have their sons playing because they don't want to get them in trouble. They want them to do some things manly. How they going to get into school? How they going to get into college and they can't read or count? They can't get to 2.0, which is the minimum. And when they raised the average to 2.0, they said then, oh, you can't do that. That's wrong. You're discriminating against the black folks. You know we have a problem. We don't have no problem. What the problem is, we refuse to give them the academics. We refuse to give them the basic math skills and the English that they need, the required skill. But they can get that through Wayne County Community College right now, right as we speak. And look, you know.
And that should be mandatory.
It should be. You know, Carl, look. They go down. They say, oh, come down to the Detroit Public School meeting. Come down and protest. Protest what? Protest what? And you're not saying what they need. I don't care nothing about your agenda. The agenda is to get the kids in the college, from high school to college, from elementary school to college or to a trade school. That should be the object. And they can get in there right now. Detroit Public Schools could have did. It's a state law. And the Detroit Public Schools or your high school pays for it. That school district pays for your child to go free. It's free education right now. We don't even know about it. How come our state legislatures aren't telling us that? Why isn't Dag Nago saying it? She's I got a master's degree, Dag Nago. She tell you about a master's degree, and she's in education, but they won't say who about it.
Telling you how to get it.
Well, you know, they got loans. They got student loans. And you're going to go free? I think that kind of rubs against the grain, don't you? That might be one of the reasons. I don't know. I don't really know why. But it don't make sense. And they ought to be doing something for us.
That's right.
For our children, since they so much for the children, so they can sit up there, oh, I look at all this money I have to pay for you. I have to buy some chalk, and then and I have to buy this, and I spend $500 measly on your child out of my pocket. Well, keep your money. That's all. Just keep your money, and let's push for that child to go to college while they're in high school at 15 years old. Why don't you do that?
That won't cost you nothing.
What was that other thing we said we was going to talk about? This hour go by so fast.
Oh, man.
Well,
you talked about the water. You talked about Gary Brown. You talked about the candidates. You talked about the water.
What did well, let it come to it. Let's take this call. Caller, you on there. Thanks for holding.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. How are you?
Great. You were earlier in the show, the first hour, you were talking about the FBI and Trump. You were saying that they could not go into that office, okay, because of the attorney-client privileges. Is that what you were saying?
Right, they broke into the man's
No, they didn't
attorney's
break
office.
in. They had a warrant. They had a warrant.
What he
They
was?
didn't break in.
It's a legal breaking in. We know they had a warrant. It's
Okay,
a
and they were
legal
all
break in.
Republicans.
They have a warrant?
Yeah, they got a warrant from the judge.
Prosecutor was a Republican. They were all these are Republicans. Trump telling a story saying that they're Democrats. These are all Republicans doing this to this man.
The Republicans are in a fight. They are in a fight with Donald Trump. And the Bushes didn't want Trump to win. The Bushes think they are heirs to the throne.
Right.
They are heirs to the presidency. And Donald Trump broke it up. And that's
True
why
that.
they're after Donald Trump. It's a fight among the billionaires. And we ought to be sitting on the sideline watching the show,
popcorn.
eating our popcorn, and saying, get him, Donald. I know he crazy, but get him,
him.
Donald. Because the only time we have won when the ruling parties were fighting among themselves. That's when the slaves were set free. And maybe we're going to be set free again. Go ahead.
Fascism. Madeleine Albright has a new book out that just came out 7 days ago on the warning about fascism. Do you see that getting ready to happen, possibly? That we might become a fascist state?
You're already a fascist state. What you mama gonna become a fascist state? What you think Snyder is?
Okay, I'm in agreement. I'm just asking
I
questions.
know you just ask some questions to get an answer. She's playing devil's
I
advocate.
know it.
Okay,
Snyder's not
exciting
a
show.
fascist. I don't
Exciting
know what
show.
it is.
Thank you.
Huh?
Thank you.
Okay,
I said
bye-bye.
Snyder's not a fascist. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, they take your rules, take your rights, so-called rights away. Well, that's because we don't believe we have any rights. The man told us about our right to vote. Then
Yeah.
half of y'all call up in here and say, I'm not going to vote. I don't vote. Well, if you don't vote, how do they take away your right to vote? Except for the ones that voted for Livonia Mike. Y'all broke the door down to vote.
Yeah.
And see, when I bring that up, Carl, when I say, well, y'all voted for Mike Duggan to be mayor, ooh, it get quiet. It get quiet.
I know.
That get real quiet. But the other thing is, I get your Constitution. We will not get a free Constitution.
Yeah, free.
Call up your senator, call up your state rep, state senator, and they'll send them to you free. And they'll tell you that this charter, what's this section? You ought to know this by heart. We've been reading it to you so long.
Yeah, it's Article 7.
Article 7, Section 22. Under the general law, the electorate of each city and village shall have the power and authority to frame, adopt, and amend this charter. Oh, we can amend the charter? I mean, we can change something? And to amend an existing charter of the city or village heretofore granted or enacted by the legislature for the government of the city or village. We don't know that. We still don't understand that the state legislatures gave us our charter, meaning gave the city of Detroit the charter, gave Grand Rapids the charter, gave Wayne County its charter. Oakland County is not a charter county, though. So that means what? That means that they don't have a book that's governing them. They don't have a Bible that they call the charter. They just make up stuff as they go. That's why they've always been able to balance their budget. They don't have a charter restricting them to 1 year balanced budget or 2 years balanced budget. And so this is out of the state constitution. And guess what? They can't pass a law like Public Act 436 that violates this constitution. It does not allow the state of Michigan and the legislature to amend our charter. They can't amend our charter under the Constitution, but we can amend the ones that they have given us in the past.
That's what you call home rule.
But they
It
don't
go
know that.
one way. that benefit the benefit us.
So that review board would be amending our charter. They say, oh, we put a review board in it, that amends the charter. And I don't, you know what? We don't hear that conversation.
No,
I listen to the
no.
radio like you do. We watch television like you do. We don't hear that conversation even coming out. You're scared to ask the man, how is it, or is it true that it has amended the Constitution? You got them fake lawyers on these different shows. You got former city lawyers and present day city lawyers on the show. There's a bunch of lawyers all over the airways. You won't even talk about the Michigan Constitution, which is
No.
the law. Man, it's
That's
amazing.
funny, you know. You mentioned about all these different lawyers, and you never hear them say the Constitution. They talk about everything else but the Constitution, which is the law.
No, the highest law in the state. It was an article in the paper last week.
But as you said, yeah, the state of the land. They used to call it what
The law of the
the
land.
law of the land. Yeah.
And you know what? What about that guy, Professor Settler down at Wayne State University, saying, "Oh, you can't do that. The city of Detroit is a creature of the state." But he left off this word Constitution.
Constitution.
He left off we're a creature of the state Constitution. You see how tricky they are? And then we just repeat it. Just repeat the same old trash, same old lie that they tell all the time.
That's right. You came in talking against yourself.
There's a job fair Friday. When does it start? 9 o'clock?
9 o'clock, I think it is.
9 to 3 or something. Little Rock Baptist Church job fair. You want to get a job? You want to go apply for a job? You want to make your significant other, wife, girlfriend, or mother think you looking for work? Go down there to the church. They even have, what are they giving up? Breakfast?
Yeah, they have breakfast there.
And they're going to have lunch. I don't know what they're having for lunch.
And
Maybe.
where else can you go and get fed?
Why are you looking for
Why
a
you
job?
looking for a job?
Why you say you looking for a job?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you say you're looking for
Yeah, that's how it go, man. They're going to say they're looking for a job. Carla, you on there?
Yeah, see, you still hollering about them votes, huh?
Well, you
You
still
know-
talking about you not going to vote, so what's the difference?
Well,
And
you know,
you ain't benefiting
I have
nobody
never-
telling nobody not to vote.
You know, I looked at it. I'm setting this up. I have not found nowhere where voting has brought forth a general law that helps everybody. I ain't found one thing. Have you?
Well, the
What you
Food
talking
Stamp
about?
Act, well, no, he said the Food Stamp Act. People voted the Food Stamp Act in. It helped all of the poor people. Now, it's not going to help everybody because the rich people didn't need food stamps. Unwed mothers with children, the
When did
baby
they
children
put
needed
food
it.
stamps in? When did they do that?
Man, that came in under Johnson. Come on now.
When?
Lyndon Johnson, the new, what do they call that program? Lyndon
No,
Johnson, that was in the
it did not
60s,
come-
65. And
No,
Adam
it did
Clayton
not come-
Powell, it went through Adam Clayton Powell's committee. He was chairman of that House
we
committee.
did not vote for food stamps. That was brought through Executive Act, and then that Congress passed it. That's how food stamp in 1965, and it came about because thousands and thousands of people was in the streets. That's how food stamps came about. Also Medicaid and Medicare. They
All right,
come
we got
about
to go,
through the
Tyrone. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing. You know, and I don't think that's the way, I mean, that's the way he feels. He don't even get paid to say that. You know, that's just the way some people feel. And we know, we just read out the book, the man changed the law. Bill Clinton changed the law. If you are a drug dealer, you are convicted of a drug felony. And you can be convicted of felonies all over the world. But if it's a drug felony, you don't get food stamps. You don't get any public accommodation. No housing, no anything. So I'm not going to sit here and argue with somebody that says that Lyndon Johnson didn't sign the law. The congressman, look, laws in Congress, the Congress have to vote on it, then the Senate votes on it. If it passes in both of those houses in the United States Congress, then the president signs it into law. That's how that happened. It wasn't no executive order. It's early in the morning. People get confused, and I understand that. But I'm not going to sit here and listen to a lot of crazy stuff. Get your history book out. Your child, your grandchild has a history book, and it will talk about the food stamps. It will talk about Johnson's, I'm trying to think of the name, Great Society. New Society, Great Society. All this was under President Johnson. FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt they voted in a law for Social Security. That was not mass protest. Yes, people protest. Protest is needed because people can see us say, what are all them folks doing out in the street? Now you see what it's about. But for some reason, we don't understand that we vote for people at city council, for the mayor, for the government, for state representatives that make laws that affect our lives. That's just a fact of life.
That's how the government works.
That's how it works. There's no protest.
You might protest and you bring attention to the subject that you're talking about, but after you bring attention to the subject, you got to do something else. They just don't automatically do it just because you come out there, 1,000 or millions of people come out there and get together. That don't mean anything. It means a lot because it makes everybody aware of what the problem is. But then you got to act on that after that.
And the pressure that the protest puts on the politicians, the elected officials. The protest that was put on the elected officials right there in Florida to change that law on the gun regulations.
That's a good example.
That's a good example of people coming out and says, I'm 18, I'm 19 years old, and when the election comes up, we're voting you out. Guess what? The politicians got out in front of that one. They not crazy. They know that those young folks were mad at them. Hey, look, we're down on time. Tyrone, you got to call us earlier, brother. You call us at the last 5 minutes. And anybody else that want to call and debate, we don't mind the debate. That's what we're here for. I'm your host, Tassan Aline.
Co-host Carl Williams.
And don't forget to tune in next Tuesday, 9 o'clock. We'll be here. Don't you forget to be here. And until next week, peace.